Hello everyone, welcome to Flow University. In today's episode, we'll be talking about bitterness and why humans fall into this emotion and prey on others for their resources. Now, essentially, people want to legitimize their actions. And a lot of times, these actions stem from a place of longing and meaning and purpose. And so people will try to create purposes. I talked about in another episode how people will try to create purposes out of nothing. And so essentially this is the beginning of bitterness. So in the beginning I was going to talk about jealousy and why people look out at others instead of out at all. And so this is really people's focus and where their attention is lying. And so most people get bitter because where the attention is placed on certain things and certain people instead of the entire situation. And so because of this, instead of seeing the opportunities, all they see is the destruction of their own lives. And so I talked about why wars happen and why conflict happens and how there's always a line and there aren't always enemies, but people will sometimes create enemies out of nothing. And this comes from an even deeper level, and this really gets into the spiritual aspect of it, is not necessarily who are they serving, but what is possessing them, what is their energy focused on, what is driving them. So people are driven by many things. And so it's not necessarily their value system. It's more so where are they going and where are they heading? Some people are very stagnant in energy, as in they have achieved acceptance. And this isn't contentment, but they're steadfast. And this goes deeper as from here, they're the people that more so manages things. But there are people that are driven. This is how you get into ambition. And these people are driving forth. And usually a lot of people boil things down to power, money, status. But a lot of times these things are deeper as people are more complex than what they seem. And so a lot of times people, what they really want is they really want a purpose and a sense of a duty and a task and a mission. And why they want these things? Because they don't want their life to be meaninglessness. And so when people believe they are nothing, they'll create things so that their life has meaning. Because if their life doesn't have meaning, then there's no point for them to exist. This is really the beginning of nihilism. And the entire construct of society is to force the people who haven't achieved high levels of success into nihilism. But within nihilism, the point of it is so that you can attach onto something that gives your life meaning and purpose. This is the point of God. God isn't a construct. God is an absolute reality that humans need, not because humans created God, but because God has come down into humans. Now, what does this have to do with bitterness? Well, a lot of times people become bitter because they can't achieve something. There's no way for them to achieve this thing. And so it's like you will never be LeBron James. So you become bitter at LeBron James. Instead of seeing the opportunities that exist around that situation, around the environment, that, okay, instead of trying to be an NBA player, you try to be something just as great as that. But it might not be that exact thing. So it's seeing the opportunities and it's seeing things from a different lens, but most people don't see this. And this is why the construct of society, if not managed properly, will lead to a lot of suicide, because a lot of humans, what will happen is they don't understand their place, they lose their meaning, they lose their purpose, and then the bitterness draws into themselves, so they seek to destroy themselves. And so essentially one has to see the different opportunities that exist for them to become something and become more of something. But a lot of humans don't see this. And so because of this, they'll seek to destroy themselves. And not just themselves, they'll seek to drag others down with them. This is why there's mass shootings. This is why there's a lot of violence. And this is why there's a lot of toxic cultures that exist. Namely, this cultures that exist in bars and nightclubs. This is why there's a lot of fighting that happens in there. Because a lot of times people will be bitter that one is getting more attention and one is getting more likes and that there's more women because they want the status that that person has. So bitterness draws one within. And if one doesn't control this or gain satisfaction or increase their awareness to see the other opportunities that exist, they'll destroy themselves and draw others down with them. Stay blessed.